election here at UTEP. If y'all don't know, who has not voted? Who has not? All right, you can vote today.
Do you mind if I get a little closer?
No, go ahead.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yes. We need you to nod your tias, your tios, your primas, your neighbors, your co-workers. You all, this election is critical. And as Kyle mentioned, it is historic. It is historic. We have the opportunity to send to the governor's mansion an El Pasoan, a Paseño, a fronterizo, one of our own.
Yeah.
What is on the line and what is on the ballot. You see names on the ballot as you go cast your vote, but there are important values behind those names. Young ladies, women, the future of your ability to have freedom over your body and how you want to live your life and plan your future, that's on the ballot. Anyone here who is in the LGBTQ community, who you can marry, that's on the ballot. You want the ability to have your vote count, guess what? That's on the ballot. You want a planet that you can enjoy where we are not having to deal with the devastation of the climate catastrophe, guess what? That's on the ballot. You want an affordable education, guess what? That's on the ballot. And so we have, it's incredible, we have not just the opportunity to vote against what has been holding communities like ours back, but we have a great candidate as well. It doesn't always happen that way. When you have something not just to vote against, but you have someone who gives you hope and inspiration to vote for. Someone who doesn't just know our heart and our values, but he lives them, he exhibits them, and he will govern with them. We have had enough of the political stunts. We have had enough of being used as a community, as somebody else's political prop. We are one of the most beautiful communities in the country. We are a community of goodwill. We are a community of love. We are a community of compassion. We are a community of hope. We are a community of optimism. We are a community of hard work. And God damn it, our governor should reflect that. Change that. We have the ability to change that. So all of you who have voted, thank you. God bless you. We need your vote. Those of you who have not voted, you're going to go in and vote with Bethel right now.
Yes.
All of us are going to get on the phones. We're going to text our folks, our people, our friends, everybody we know, and we're going to tell them how important it is to us. You need to tell everybody you love how important this election is to you, because it will be all of you who will be most impacted by the outcome of this election. So let's use these closing days as a great opportunity to not just change the course of history, but to usher in a new historical era that all of us deserve and want and will fight for.
Amen.
Introduce El Paso's own, our future governor, Bethel.
Let's hear it for one of the most passionate, eloquent, intelligent members of Congress anywhere in America, not just in Texas. I served in that institution for 6 years. Veronica Escobar stands shoulders above every other member of Congress there. It makes me so proud to be an El Pasoan and to be voting for her right now. These amazing college friends are here for a listen. Thank you all for welcoming us back. We just flew in from San Antonio. Yesterday, I was in McAllen. I was in Laredo at Texas A&M International University, Tammy, you in Laredo, where we had a gathering just like this. And Cynthia, I think we had 286 students there vote with us. So we're gonna have to add a few more to the group that we have here. Make sure, as we're wrapping up, you're texting your classmates, your friends, your neighbors, everybody in your life, and make sure that they vote with us here today. This is the second to last day we have to vote during early voting, tomorrow being the last. But to touch down in El Paso and to breathe this beautiful desert air and to be home again with my wife Amy and my mom means the world to me. And we're back here to do the same thing that I'm asking you to do, and that is to vote. And that is to vote to change this state for the better. And the fact that you are here, given all the other pressing issues in your life, given everything that we're up against, and the Congresswoman and some of the members of College Democrats described the challenges we face. We lead the nation in the number of school shootings. Gun violence, the leading cause of death for children and teenagers. So be thinking about your younger brothers and sisters and what they face in these classrooms in El Paso right now. 23 weeks after 19 children and their 2 teachers were slaughtered in their classroom in Uvalde, Texas on the 24th of May, 2022. In 23 weeks, our governor has not done a single thing to make it any less likely that that happens to any other child in any other classroom in any other part of the state of Texas. 4 years since the shooting here at Walmart that took the lives of 23 of our friends, our neighbors, and our family members. And the only thing the governor has done since then is to make it easier for those who should never have a firearm to carry them on our streets with none of us the wiser or the safer for it. That's why homicides in the state are up 50% right now. In Uvalde yesterday, we had a rally just like this at one of the early voting locations. And then we went over to the Uvalde City Cemetery to celebrate Dia de los Muertos with the families who lost those 21 loved ones. And it was just amazing to me, the creativity, the joy there even, the celebration of family, but the extraordinary tragic sense of loss. And people saying, why am I making ofrendas to my 10-year-old daughter? No good reason that she should have had to be up against somebody with an AR-15, a weapon originally designed for use in war in yesterday. You meet those families and you see their leadership. And we would all forgive them if they never wanted to show their face in public again, if they didn't want to be part of the political process. But they are, and they are knowing full well they'll never get their kids back. But they're doing it for our kids and for our younger brothers and sisters and for every child in every classroom in the state of Texas. Knowing that much, this decision before us is crystal clear. We re-elect Greg Abbott, and there'll be more school shootings, there'll be more massacres like the one that we saw here in El Paso in 2019, more senseless, tragic loss of life. Congresswoman mentioned bodily autonomy. We have the most extreme abortion ban in America. It begins at conception. There is no exception for rape, there's no exception for incest, and effectively, functionally, there's no exception for the life of the woman or the mother involved. I know this because I've listened to women who were turned back from doctors and said, you know what, you're not close enough to death's door yet. Come back when you are, and then we can save your life if you're still alive. We lead the nation in an epidemic of maternal mortality. 3 times as deadly for black women in the state of Texas right now. That's because when you foreclose every opportunity for a woman to get a safe, legal abortion, you're also foreclosing almost every opportunity to get a cervical cancer screening, see a family planning provider, or see a doctor of any kind in the least insured state in America. You think about our school teachers who already sacrificed the best years of their lives for our kids in those classrooms, who are now being asked to stand in the way of an active shooter who walks in that door at their school. They're so underpaid in Texas and in El Paso, they work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. Retired teachers haven't seen a cost of living adjustment in 18 years. Think about how much costs and prices have gone up just in this last year. What are we doing to those who work the hardest jobs at one of the toughest times imaginable? And then this democracy that we heard about, that is under attack here in Texas, unlike any other state in the union. It is harder to cast your ballot in Texas, harder to get your name on the rolls to be registered to vote in this state than it is anywhere else in this country today. Case in point, 95-year-old World War II veteran in March of this year, just trying to vote in the March primaries, had his ballot by mail request rejected not once, but 3 times. And think about it, this guy, at the age of 17, landing on that beach in Normandy in France, fighting fascism half a world away to defend democracy here at home. There's no one among us who's more earned the right to vote than he has, but in this state, he can't right now. But against all of those challenges are all of us, doing all we can, what we have, where we are, right here at the center of the universe, as far as I'm concerned, El Paso, Texas. And it's the young people among us, as it has always been in American history, who are going to come through. You think about every moment of truth, every major turning point in this country's history. It hasn't been old fogies like me. I just turned 50 in September. Young people like you who have answered the call. I mentioned that 95-year-old World War II veteran, 17 years old, when he's landing at that beach in Normandy going up against Nazi machine gun nests. You think about those Union soldiers who decided the issue whether one American could own another American as property in this country, finally settling it at that courthouse in Appomattox in 1865, or those civil and voting rights marchers and activists who willingly risked their lives and sometimes gave them in the 1950s and the 1960s just to make sure that all of us, regardless of race or ethnicity, could be treated equally under the law and have the right to vote. All of them know. And so now it turns to you in the year 2022 with the future and the fortune and the fate of the state of Texas hanging in the balance. No pressure, but this is on you. And it's not just on you to vote, as important as that is. It is on you to bring in your friends and your family members and your classmates and your colleagues and your neighbors and the folks that you follow on social media and who follow you on social media. In your own words, in your own heart, describe to them why this is the election of our lifetimes and the fact that our lives are literally hanging in the balance. And if we fail to come through now, not only have we squandered this opportunity by and for one another, but the generations who follow ours, our younger brothers and sisters, our kids and grandkids, who only get a vote and a voice in this election through the actions that we take today and the commitments that we make right now, they will lose out on the inheritance that was won for them through the service, the struggle, and the sacrifice that I just mentioned. We are the heirs to all of that. And what we do with that will determine our future and define us in the eyes of our kids forever going forward. And then there's this. It's some pretty profound, poetic political justice if the very people who are targeted for voter suppression, voter intimidation, who've been drawn out literally from this democracy, all of us work together to bring in. And they form the margin of victory on election night, when the Congresswoman and I celebrate with all of you right here in El Paso, November 8th, this next Tuesday. And when we do that, here are the things that we're going to be able to accomplish together. Every Texas woman making her own decisions about her own body, her own placing the lives of our children over the interests of the NRA or the gun lobby. Those underpaid educators that I talked about making sure they're paid enough not to work a second or a third job, and then doing this. After 2 years of trauma, pandemic, and learning loss, making sure those educators can spend more time with those kids in front of them by canceling the STAR test. Common sense, these bipartisan things like expanding Medicaid so we're no longer 51st in the nation.
Yeah.
Or to see a doctor, fill a prescription, take your kiddo to the therapist. Or how about this? Legalizing marijuana in the state of Texas. You know, there's a small chance you all like that one. but we got to go a step further. Here's what we know. We know that though all Texans use this stuff at roughly the same rate, disproportionately it is black and brown Texans who are stopped, who are frisked, who are arrested, who are incarcerated, who upon release have to check a box on every employment application form, student loan application form, small business loan application form, saying that they have this conviction, narrowing their options and opportunities in life. So in addition to making it legal, we must expunge the arrest record for those. And lastly, this great democracy that so many have given their lives for, literally, so we can have this moment to all go vote together at this early voting location. We've got to make sure that it's easier to get on the rolls and cast that ballot. So I want to work with you as governor to make sure that we have things like online voter registration or automatic voter registration so that when you turn 18, you're automatically on the rolls. Replace these gerrymandered districts that we have right now. Citizen-led redistricting commissions. And then you may or may not know this, but there is an official Texas state holiday called Confederate Heroes Day. Ooh. Let's replace that with Election Day as a state holiday. And we will live up to our potential, and we will fulfill our promise together. And those kids, the next generation, looking at us right now, who only have a vote through the actions that we take, they're going to be so proud of the work that we did, the commitments we made, and the way that we met this moment by overcoming these challenges and doing it together. And wouldn't it be wonderful if all of that were led right here in El Paso? You all with me? Yes, sir! The College Democrats, and all of you for making this possible. Amy, my mom, and I are all going to go in and vote right now. Anyone who has not yet voted, we encourage you to join us, and then we're going to come back out, if it's okay with the Congresswoman, and take some pictures with anybody who would like to. If you take pictures together, post these immediately before you leave here, and tell your friends and those who follow you why you voted today, why this election is so important. You are going to break through with the people you know far better than I ever will. Thank you, El Paso! El Paso! Thank you all. Thank you so much. Hey, how are you? Wow, good to see you. You look good, man. Good to see you, man.
Sorry.
Hey. Yeah, we are going to.
We'll be back for photos. We'll be back. Sneaky. Oh, sorry, Chris, my bad. Go ahead, brother.
Guys, we're going to get photos afterwards.
Sorry, I'm going to go around.
¡Órale!
Great one. Thank you for coming out.
Media has to be on the other side.